All right, so we are now recording. All right, nice to see everyone. Um, let me call this meeting to order. Present with us today, we do have a quorum. Present with us, we have Miss Lady Ramos, Miss Teresa Twine, and our board solicitor, Mr. Eric Smith, and myself. And again, you may see me as Linda Kelleher. I am Shane McFarlane. Okay, so we do have a packed agenda today, and we're going to try and get through it as quickly as possible. We have two official actions to take today. Those we will discuss in details in our executive session, which we will jump into shortly. Second item on the agenda, public comment. We don't have any members of the public present today, so there's no need for that item. The third item is the approval of minutes from 3/9/21 meeting. Eric, do you have any suggested adjustments for the minutes?
No, I do not.
Okay. Anyone?
No.
Okay. All right. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from 3/9/21?
I approve.
Motion to seconded by Teresa. Teresa, your mic's muted. We just want to hear you. We just want to hear your voice for the record.
I approve.
All right, thank you, Teresa. All right. Do we have any other in-house matters? All right, so in terms of meeting schedules, and just for the record, we did have a public meeting scheduled for the 23rd, but because of conflicts with schedules, we didn't have a quorum. That meeting was inadvertently canceled, and we did announce for a public meeting for today. I personally have to do a better job with trying to schedule these meetings. We went through a very difficult time trying to have this meeting announced because of the very, very tight schedule. I believe the Ready Eagle needs at least a 48 hours announcement. So I had to really try to get some strings pulled to get this meeting in, because it's a special meeting and we do have a few items that needs to be addressed today. So this was absolutely necessary, but going forward, we have to try and confirm all our meetings at least 1 week ahead of time. In terms of our meetings schedule, I don't think we need to change from what we previously did in past in terms of our meetings schedule. I suggest we keep it as is, because we usually meet on the first and third Tuesdays of each month, and that has been working for us so far. I see no reason to change that. But in terms of the time, I think that is something that we will have to really discuss to see what time works for everyone. Prior to COVID, I think we used to meet at 7 p.m. We did change that to 5 p.m. And I think the reason for that was to facilitate Teresa getting home a little bit earlier, because she had issues with getting home when it was dark, and I completely understand and agree that we all agreed to change the time. So going forward, and I think after this meeting, I'm going to send an email just so we could have a kind of consensus on a meeting time for the first and third Tuesdays of each month. And obviously we're going to have special meetings announced as well if necessary. With that said, item number 4 on the agenda is education initiatives.
Shane,
Yes,
just one thing about the time of the meetings. And I'm only saying it because I don't know the answer to this, but I believe I know the answer to this, is that because these are public meetings, I believe they need to be held at times when the public is available to attend. I believe.
right. Yes,
So now, so I think the issue is for me to find out what is an acceptable range of times, right? Certainly a meeting at midnight or 1 a.m., right? One questions if that's really a public meeting, right? Just like if it's a meeting at 2:30 in the afternoon, one questions if that's really a public meeting. With that said, there's lots of municipalities that have their public workshop meetings at 9 a.m. on a Thursday.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. So I just have to, and if it's okay, I want to just make sure that we are sound on that. That's
got you.
okay.
All right. Thank you, Eric. All right. Education initiatives, number 4 on the agenda. Teresa, tip of the month, and I think I already spoke to Eric and Lady about this. Tip of the month, the first part 1, will be issued on Tuesday, April 6th, and every first Tuesday of every month thereafter. And obviously, every board member will receive a copy, and that's an e-copy. And right to know requests. Eric, is there any right to know requests?
There are no right to know requests.
Okay, great. So for items 6, that is advisory opinion and the charter board complaints, 6 and 7, I think we will have to go into executive session to discuss those items. And once we return, then we will take official action on advisory opinion number 54, along with other issues. All right, so at this point, we will go into executive session. Okay, so we are back from executive session. Wasn't as lengthy as I expected. At this point, I'm going to ask, let me announce, first of all, that we have 3 official actions to take today. So I'm going to ask Eric to debrief us again on the first official action, advisory opinion number 54.
Okay, I'm just pulling that up on my screen. Okay, the first matter here is advisory opinion 54. It was submitted to the board on February 24th, 2021 by Mr. Ernest Schlegel, who is, he was on the Charter Review Commission, the most recent one, but also is the chairperson of the Reading Area Redevelopment Authority. He asked a question regarding whether or not there is a conflict with respect to Charter Amendment 226, which is a new charter amendment recently adopted by the voters of the city, and an original charter section 801. This new charter section 226 concerns the creation of the office of city council solicitor. And the original section 801 relates to the office of city solicitor. And he asked whether or not these two provisions conflict. Everybody has a copy of a draft advisory opinion, and we've all circulated it, and the board has taken a look at it. The proposed conclusion, and I'll read here the conclusion and the opinion of the board. The conclusion is that amendment section 226 is a valid amendment to the city charter that needs to be read together with section 801, and both together viewed as one statute passed at one time. And then the portions of section 801 that are irreconcilable with section 226 are repealed by implication. So the proposed opinion of the Charter Board is that section 226 creates the Office of City Council Solicitor. Section 801 is repealed by amendment section 226, such that the city solicitor is no longer a legal advisor to city council, and that section 801 of the charter is repealed by section 226, such that the city solicitor does not represent city council in any capacity. And then lastly, that the city solicitor remains the legal representative of the city as an institution. The recommendation is that the board would render no further opinion about anything else concerning these two sections, except that these particular points that the board just highlighted.
Great. Thank you, Eric. All right. At this point, we've all seen the draft. We've all read and reviewed the draft. So I'm going to ask for a motion to approve advisory opinion number 54 as presented.
I approve.
Teresa?
I second.
All right, thank you. So moved. Advisory opinion number 54 has been approved. Teresa, could you mute for a minute? All right. I see your grandkids right there. All right. The second item for that requires official action is, it has to do with the investigative officer. Eric, I will have you give a quick debrief of that before I ask for a motion. Eric, you're muted.
On March 17th, I was advised by the board's investigative officer that there was a potential conflict with, that there was a conflict with a new charter board complaint, which was recently filed and which the investigative officer has found jurisdiction. Since that time, after further discussions with the investigative officer has advised that they are resigning and wish to resign as the board's investigative officer.
Okay, so based on that explanation, we're going to need to approve of or accept the resignation of our previous IO. So I'm going to ask for a motion to accept the resignation.
I accept the resignation.
I second.
A second, Teresa. Okay, thank you. So Eric, do you debrief us again on the third, or did you already brief us on that?
I did not. About the interim IO?
Right, go ahead, please. Yeah.
Did not. When I was advised of that vacancy, knowing the timelines that exist, and after consultation with the chair, I tried to identify an interim IO that would be conflict-free for Investigation 58. And not knowing the parameters of Investigation 58, I identified somebody outside of the city, in fact, outside of the county, to ensure that there's not a conflict for this interim investigate for this period. I circulated his name. His name's John Walco. Everybody has his name. He has certified to me, and he will do so in writing as required by the city, that he could complete Investigation 58 and the hearing and all of that for under $34,999, which is a limit that the city places on this without an RFP. Certainly because of the conflict and the resignation, the board would have to proceed with the RFP process, but not for this interim position until the RFP process is completed, so long as it can be completed. He can complete the task for under 34,999. So John Walco would be proposed as the interim IO.
So before I ask for a motion, let me just make a few comments. I am very impressed with John Wilco's record. I had the opportunity to read every single word on his bio. And I don't know how a guy that looks that young was able to rack up that lengthy work history. But nonetheless, he checks off all the boxes for me. One, he knows how to prosecute a case because he's a former district assistant DA. So he knows how to prosecute a case. The second thing is he has municipal law experience. He's touted to be top municipal law attorney in Southern PA. And he has served as solicitor to numerous boards, commissions, and authorities. So he does have a lengthy experience in municipal law. I do think, I hope he'll be able to work well with Eric. And given Eric's personality, I think he can work well with anyone. So those are just a few comments that I wanted to make in reference to the interim investigative officer position that we were about to vote on. Teresa, lady, any comments?
No comments.
Okay. All right. So now I'm going to ask for a motion at this time to approve John Wilco as interim investigative officer for the Charter Board.
I move that we approve John Wickham as investigative. How do you say it? Wilco.
John Wilco. Yes.
Yes, as
Okay.
investigator. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Teresa.
You're welcome.
I second, Joe Wickerman.
I think we'll get used to his name.
Yeah, it's hard.
All right. Thank you, ladies. All right. So there you have it. John Wilco has been approved by the board as interim investigative officer. Any further comments, Eric?
For the minutes, I believe it's Walco, Walko.
Walker.
Walco.
Walco, yeah.
Okay. I may have seen something different in his bio, but okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Let me double check the agenda to make sure we covered all the items. I think we're good to go. Any further comments, anyone?
No,
Okay. At this point, I believe we can adjourn. May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
I motion we adjourn the meeting at this time.
I motion to adjourn.
All right. Thank you, ladies. Meeting adjourned.
Okay.
Eric, we'll talk
All
soon.
right. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Take care.
Bye.